Okay, so with all this like film study and stuff, more specifically like skill work, so rather than just keeping it all in my head, I've kind of taken an approach of like the I'm possible stuff. So they have checklists. Michael Lancaster preaches his checklist a lot, how he has his checklist of methods, skills, and stuff that their training isn't biased. They just put every player through their checklist. And so for me, I have some of the stuff that, like their footwork stuff, footwork checklists. I don't have their checklist, but based on their stuff that I've watched, I've turned a lot of their footwork stuff into a checklist. But footwork isn't the only thing that you need a checklist for. So on my notes in my phone, I've put together, so you got footwork checklist, you got a pickup checklist, initiating body contact checklist, catch and shoot checklist, post move checklist, ball handling checklist, finishing checklist. So for example, I'll go into my finishing checklist. So when you finish, you need to have, there's different skills within finishing. So like techniques, mechanics, physical traits. So like you need to be able to be controlled with the ball, but you also need to be able to be a little bit acrobatic. You need to have some good hand-eye coordination. Like there's just a lot of things to work on versus just saying go out there and finish it this way. I guess there's details within those details. So like there's underhand finish, underhand sideways, underhand inside, overhand, floaters, show and pull. Like there's just a lot of different things you can work on. So the more that I write down in here, the more I can always come back to, so that each training session I'm not just like pulling stuff out of my butt, but I'll have some sort of go-to things that I can go to and I can be like, okay, what should we work on with this player? And the more that I write down, the more I have in the bank and the more I have to reference, so that I can help these players develop a lot more versus just what I have in my head at the moment. Obviously I use a lot of what I'm thinking, what I picture, but there's a lot that I'll write down, go back to and be like, oh yeah, that I can reference. So it's a really good practice for me to be able to create a program more than just creating something off the cuff that I'm just going to do that day, so that I have a pathway that I can put players on, that can build success towards. And it just is like kind of comforting for me to be able to have something to go to have something that I've created start to build, rather than having it all up here. It just makes me feel a little bit more warm and cozy on the inside, I guess, to have that. And then with all those notes and stuff, I can build off of them. I can go in and change stuff, but at least I have like a baseline to go to.